Representative Jim Moran is a Democrat of Virginia. He's retiring from Congress this year. And before he leaves, he wanted to share with everybody and let us know what is a main issue of concern for him. So, okay, fair enough. What's on his mind? What's the biggest problem that he thinks we're facing? Is it child poverty? No. Lack of science funding, maybe. Hey, we're cutting the NASA budget, and that means we're going to be worse off in the future with the internet. We're not going to continue to advance technology for medicine, et cetera, et cetera. Nope, not that. Is it the war on the middle class? Nah, not that either. Quote, speaking to CQ Roll Call, Moran said he and his colleagues are not adequately compensated for their public service. He said, quote, I think the American people should know that the members of Congress are underpaid. I understand that it's widely felt that they underperform, but the fact is that this is the board of directors for the largest economic entity in the world. A lot of members can't even afford to live decently in Washington. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say that is patently untrue, and I'll give you some of the numbers in a second. But he goes on to speak about the horrors of some people sleeping in their offices. Now, that might sound like, oh, how terrible, but if you've ever seen those offices, they're quite large and comfortable. So it's really not the worst thing in the world, and again, they choose to do that. And then there's other people who go through the horror of renting an apartment. That's just for poor people, not us rich white guys. Now, thankfully, the House of Representatives is currently pushing legislation to freeze congressional pay, but Moran is trying to add an amendment that gives everybody a housing allowance. Now, how much is that specifically? Well, the article does not say. But let's get into some details here. How much do they get paid? That it's such a big problem and it's unacceptable. Well, rank-and-file members of Congress get $174,000 for working 113 days of the year. $174,000 for having 252 days off. Here's a question. Would you take that? You listening, whatever you do. I don't know what you do. It doesn't matter. Are you an accountant? Are you a secretary? Do you run your own small business? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. My question to you is, would you do that? Would you take that amount of money? You get $174,000 for working 113 days of the year and having 252 days off. Now, to be fair, a lot of the 252 days that are off, a lot of them are spent campaigning, trying to get reelected. But even so, you still have more days off than the average person by a long shot. So do you think that's not enough money? No. Honestly, that's a ridiculous comment. But it shows you what their mindset is. Their mindset is they feel entitled. They feel like once they get this position, they are above everybody. Not, hey, I got this position, I'm honored, and I'm going to represent my constituents and or the American people. They get into that position and they say, fuck it, now I'm on top, man. These guys got to answer to me. And then they also go and sell out to Wall Street, and they go and sell out to big business and the rich. In fact, when they run their campaigns, they take a lot of money from those different special interest groups, and then they end up paying them back when they're in office. And then there's the revolving door problem. When people leave politics, they oftentimes go work as a lobbyist, and they get paid, $1 million a year, $2 million a year. So apparently it's not enough. It's a shame because so many people that get into public service are just doing it for self-aggrandizement and for individual reasons and for greedy reasons. And that shouldn't be the reason anybody wants to get involved in public service. If you want to do those things, that's fine. I understand a lot of that is in our human nature, and I'm not begrudging you that. But go to the fucking private sector if you want to do that. Don't say, I want to represent the American people and then be all about yourself and beg for more money. That's ridiculous. Now, here's the thing. I'm willing to actually meet Jim Moran halfway here. Because what he's saying is ridiculous, but it wouldn't be ridiculous if these guys did not take any money from any special interests. I would make the deal with Jim Moran, and I would pass this legislation if I could, that, look, we're going to ban all private money going to politicians and going to campaigns and running elections, okay? So you get rid of the whole ridiculous money equals free speech thing. You get rid of all the corruption. No more big money in politics. No more billionaires donating. No more corporations donating. None of that stuff. No more unions, too. This goes for the right and the left. So no money in politics. We have what's called clean elections, which means fully public financed elections, okay? You set up a system like that. And since you won't, there's no way you can sell out at that point, okay? Because we make that a crime punishable by 20 years in jail or something ridiculous. We harshly punish politicians accepting any money from anybody, right? I would make the deal with you that if we implement that law, then I would be willing to raise their pay to, I don't know, $300,000, $400,000, maybe even $500,000. Fuck. And the reason is that if you pay these guys a lot of money, okay, and you make sure that they can't take any private money and it's illegal for them to take private money and you punish the ones that do, well then, now they have the perfect incentive to do their job well for their constituents.